Hello, good morning to all of you. I, Asha Simon, New Catholic Mission School, Jhabua. Dear students, today we are going to start the history, the first chapter, class 7th. Now, last in class 6th, you have learned about the ancient history, and now in 7th class, you will learn about the medieval history, and in 8th class, you will learn about the modern history. Now, this time we are going to start about the medieval history. Now, you can see the chapter itself, tracing changes through 1,000 years. Now students, there are two maps are here. Can you see? There are two maps are there, and there is a lot of difference in these two maps. The maps are one of the important source of history through which we can trace out the historical changes. Contents, cartographers are skilled people who make map. Now the people who make map, that is called cartographer, and the map of India is different from the map made by the Arab geographer Ali Idris in 1154 CE, was different from the map made by the French cartographer in 1720. Now this map, first map was made by the Ali Idris in 1154, and this map was made in 1720 by the French cartographer. Now there is a difference between these two maps, students. Now can you see the Sri Lanka is in new in French cartographer in 1721 is there. Sri Lanka is down here, but in the Ali Idris made the cartographer that was on the top. So there is a lot of change in the map itself. That what do you mean by the cartographer, children? Cartographer is the one who made the map. Please learn these words, certain words when I put stress on that, please learn those words meaning properly. Okay? The cartographer means the person who make the map. Okay? Now next we change to the new and old terminology. Now new and true old terminology. Historical records exist in variety of language which change over the period. Now this history is changes into the different language, and this term also change, and the term Hindustan was used by the Mint Siraj, a chronicler who wrote in the Persian. In the chronicler writer, he writes in the Persian that 13th century, which means the area of Punjab, Haryana and the land between the Ganga and Yamuna. This cartographer writes, this chronicle writes about the Hindustan word, meaning that for him it means that the century, which means that the area between the Punjab, Haryana and the land between the Ganga and Yamuna. It was used a political sense for the lands forming of the parts of the area in Delhi Sultan. And in the 16th century, the Babur used the term Hindustan describe the geography, the fauna and the culture of the inhabitants. Now this Hindustan, the Idris used that was the different, was he used the area around the Punjab and Haryana and Ganga and Yamuna, but this cartographer geography he used the geography, fauna and the culture of inhabitants of the subcontinent. And the same time Amir Khusro also used the term Hind in the 14th century. The Babur and the Amir Khusro, they used the same term for the Hindustan, but there is a little more changes come. Actually, Hindustan did not carry the political and national meanings like that we use now for India. Now this Hindustan word, this Hindustan term did not carry the political and national meaning. What we use at present, Hindustan means India. So now next is a foreigner, the word foreigner. Children, now we very often we use this word foreigner. Foreigner means someone who is not an Indian. We use from someone who is coming from outside of the country, that we call the foreigner. But in the medieval period we do not call that, but in the medieval period we call foreigner to someone whom we do not know, and to someone who do not adapt a culture and caste and system, other things. So we call them ajnabi. In Hindi we call them pardesi or ajnabi. Historians and their source. Historians and their source. Historians use many available sources to study, analyze the most event. Among these, common source of coin, inscription, architecture, and textile records. And these so many things historians has to available the source to analyze the things. In the olden time, there was a coin in the Samudragupta was standing with the this thing, and the inscription means the caved, that in the stones or wood they crave the inscription, they carry on that was a inscription. And there was a variety of textile recording during that period between the 17 to 1752, and then there was a lot of paper was available during that time, and that paper was very cheap. The paper was very cheap during the period of 70 to 1750, and it was used in the writing of the holy texts, chronicles of the rulers, letters, and teaching of the saints, patients, and judicial records of the foreigner, of registers of the accounts and taxes. These all things was written in the paper, because the 17 to 1750 there was a lots of paper of available, and the paper was cheaper, so they have written the everything in the papers. Manuscripts were collected from the wealthy people, ruler, monastery, and temples. Manuscript means what? What do you mean by manuscript? Manuscript means handwriting documents or analysis to keep the things. So this was collected from the manuscripts were collected from the wealthy people, rulers, and the temples. They were placed in the library or archive. Now this everything was kept in the, where it was kept? In the library or archive. What do you mean the archive? Archive means that the things kept for the future generation, that was kept, the everything was kept, the future generation, the historicals collected the things and they have kept in the library as well as the archive. These archives were called as the thing to keep for the future generation to learn about the history. Historians use them the detailed information. There was no printing press that time, and there was no printing press that time. They only used to write with the handwriting, and very often scribes introduced small changes, and these changes, small changes. Now children, I can give you an example of that. Then when you don't come to the class, you don't write the note which was given by your teacher. So you take the copy of your friend. And you copy it. That is called manuscript. And then you copy it, and then there was a little changes which you cannot understand your friend's handwriting. So you change your own understanding. And then it changes, little bit changes, go on and carry on. Then your friend takes your copy, you took from your friend, and your friend take from you copy, then again little bit changes come. So these changes also comes to by turn these changes, and these changes was certainly the is that was called scribes and manuscripts. Then there was a Zabuddin Bayani in 14th century chronicle riot. In a first time he wrote in 1356, and another vision he wrote after 2 years. But this vision they could not, the historian could not find this history of the chronicle of the Barani, and say, and then they found next time the time was reflected the changes in the social and economic organization in the present transformation idea and belief, and these changes reflect through economic and social belief and idea. Historians studies time during by dividing into testaments that the period and that shows share the continuous characters. The period between the 17 to 1750 witnessed the emergence of the new technology. The 17 to 1750, the new witness came that emerged technology important among the and were the patient wheel irrigation, the spinning wheel in weaving and firewood and battlefield. New food and the average beverage were introduced by the subcontinent, and the like a potato coin and chilies, tea and coffees. These people migrate from place to place, and they started the planning the wheel and spinning of the wheel, irrigation for the wheel and waving for the fire and these things, and they started the continent, in the continent the potato, they started growing the potato, corn, chilies and tea and coffee, etc. And these people migrate from place to place, and this migrate here brought the remarkable change in the political, social and cultural areas of the people. This area is noted as the mobile people of the now new social political, the new social political groups. Now this you can study better in your from the book, okay. Now region and the empires, also this is a large things to study about the division of the, so many people came and dynasties came to rule our country, and there was a so many people, that was a dynasty, and in that dynasty there was a Mughal, Cholas and Tughlaqs, these people were there. And a Sanskrit phrase was written in the Delhi Sultan Balban, who ruled over the vast empire stretching from the Bengal in the east, and these people were, so many people came into the rule the countries, dynasties came like Cholas, Tughlaqs and Mughals and etc. And these people, there was a Balban who 1266 to 1287, he started writing the Sanskrit word, and they gave more importance to the Sanskrit, to the, and the early group society include the group hunters and gathering, farmers and people living towns and villages. And the arrivals of empire, European tradition, morality, hover, and seems to be and that prosperity that attract to the interest of the people, European trading companies. Now, old and new religions. During this period, 17 to 1750, always see children, 17 to 1750, these years are very important for us, for the historians. With the changes of the social economic field, people believe of also change. Hinduism was saw many changes, which include the worship new deities and construction of the new temple royalty, and the growing of the importance of the Brahmin and priest in the society. In this time, They have Hinduism have changed a lot of change, and the Brahmins give more importance to the priest and the society because the Sanskrit language was given more important. The Sanskrit language known by the only the Brahmin people who were give more importance for their rulers. The remarkable development of the period was rise of the idea of the Bhakti movement. This year also called a Bhakti movement because in this year that so many people came for the Bhakti and then started the worshipping the God. And here another 10 changes come, the teaching of the Holy Quran. Holy Quran was brought to India in the 7th century by the magnate and merchants. The merchant had brought this, and Quran, the holy book of the Islam, declares the idea of one God. They believe in one God, Allah, and His love, mercy, and those who believe in Him. And this Quran, and in this Muslim also divided into two parts. That was a Shia Muslim and Sunni Muslim. Shia Muslim believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community, and Sunnis Muslim believed that the Caliphate was the leader of them. Though there was a other important between the two schools of the law, Hanif and Sharif, and the technology of mystery tradition of Islam. Now children, thinking about the time historical periods. For historical periods does not mean just passing the hours, days and years as a clock of the calendar. In history, time reflects changes in the social, economic and organizational or transformation, idea and belief. In the middle of the 19th century, British historians divided history of India into three periods: Hindu, Muslim and British. This division completely ignored the rich diversity in the subcontinent. And the Indian history is divided into three parts. Divided into three parts, that was the ancient history, medieval history and modern history. But the period it is divided into British history, Muslim history and British history. These things, understand this properly. Divide and period. Period is a three period, that is a Muslim, British and Hindu. And divided into parts, that is a ancient history, medieval history and modern history. So now children, I am sure you have understood this chapter, and I think I will give you the most important words. What is the meaning of cartographer? Cartographer means one who makes the maps, and the manuscript was written by hand, the event, and these things, and they give more important the certain words what is known to us and given in the books. Okay, and please children, understand the chapter properly and do not waste your time at home. This is very precious time for you all to make and utilize your time. Thank you.